you missed Graham and Adam and Jeff.
Oh, really?
They lost a bet and had to record a Christmas album.
Oh my God.
Like actually sing.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
So they were here like a couple hours ago, and we were using the same setup but with one camera.
Yeah.
And unfortunately with two, there's like this computer's getting older. There's like a little too much information coming in.
No kidding.
So,
okay,
anyway,
gotcha.
Yeah, so we're just getting down.
Now you guys got to upgrade the laptop.
I know. I want to, but like computers aren't cheap.
I know.
And if I want to get one like pretty beastie, I gotta drop $1,500.
Yeah,
Probably I'd say something like that.
That's true.
So maybe even 2 Gs.
It's kind of funny. How old is that laptop?
It's not young. It's got to be 6 or 7 years.
Holy smokes, man!
Wasn't
You're
it the first Retina display or one of the first?
Yeah, it was.
That's impressive.
Yeah, she's humming along. I just formatted it this morning or last night
Yeah,
to like up the performance, like get it as clean as possible.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
no, you're due. Like at this point,
Yeah,
like
I'm
it's
due,
like
yeah.
it's.
But
You don't have to feel too bad about that expense.
Yeah, the problem is that they haven't updated their laptops in so long. Like, I wouldn't be getting that much spending $1,500 right now.
Really?
Yeah,
After 6 years?
they haven't.
It's not
been
like double the horsepower.
No, there've been lots of complaints, right, Thomas?
Yeah, especially with their latest ones, like all the port choices, and they're always a while behind in the hardware. And
Like,
yeah,
they don't have USB ports, standard USB ports.
Yeah.
They have USB-C, which no one uses. So that's interesting.
But it's theirs. Is it theirs? Like, is that like an
No.
Apple thing?
no,
No, that is a standard protocol, but no one's.
it will become standard at some point.
So is it, I don't know, like looking into the future? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah,
They're doing something. I don't know.
I don't know what.
We're both confused.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of adopting something before everyone's ready?
I don't know. Maybe they thought it would be ready. Like, it's hard to nail it, I think, on stuff like that. But
It probably costs them more to use it,
yeah.
to put it in their computers.
Yeah.
So,
Probably.
like, why?
I don't know, man. You guys are the Apple fanatics.
Hey, not so much anymore.
No?
No.
It's dying down a little bit?
I still have a 2011 MacBook Air,
Okay.
and I want a new laptop, but I don't want any of the Macs.
But you like the operating system? Like, is it just a hardware thing that you don't like about it, or?
I like the hardware. I just don't like parts, like things about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the operating system I like.
Yeah.
I don't like using Windows.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
I agree with Thomas. I like the OS. It's pretty clean.
Yeah.
Like, it's fairly Linuxy.
Yeah.
And Linux is good.
Yeah.
I like to be able to open a terminal and just do whatever the fuck I want.
Man,
Yeah,
you
I
guys
agree.
should talk to Boyko,
Mike Boyko,
because
yeah.
he always uses a terminal. Like, basically, like he's pretty awesome at work. I'm trying to like learn a lot of stuff about efficiency off.
Do you
that
work
guy.
with him?
He's like 2 cubicles over from me.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
At
It's
Conoco?
an incredible, yeah. So
When did he come on with Conoco?
Well,
That's
okay,
cool.
so he was working for Bantrell on engineering Surmont 2, and then
Yeah.
he was doing like commissioning stuff, basically. Like when
Yeah.
I started at Conoco on Surmont 2, so first he was like commissioning stuff in Calgary, whatever they were fabbing, and then they sent him to site to do on-site commissioning, and then once they finished that up, Conoco hired him on contract, and he was at site for, again, like another 2 years or whatever, something like that. Probably like 6 months ago, he got a role in Calgary, still contract.
Cool.
But yeah, it's crazy because I was probably his first friend in Canada in like grade 3.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
So you guys go back.
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
know that.
like elementary school, junior high, high school, and then it's just freaking crazy that like now we're like 2 cubicles over from each other, like
That's
totally
cool.
different paths. Well, not totally, but he took electrical, I took mechanical,
Yeah.
like different companies, still in the same spot. It's nuts.
It's funny how stuff like that works.
Yeah, so we like grab a coffee, a couple times a week kind of thing, and talk about stuff. So yeah.
We grab a coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun, Thomas. Like when we started working together, well, we don't work on the same projects, but at Payson,
Yeah.
it's like This is weird. At the beginning, it was kind of weird.
It was weird.
It was weird.
You're like, do you want to get a coffee? And you're like,
I guess. Like,
that
we're
makes
friends.
sense.
That seems like the right order of
Sounds
operations.
like a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's
But it's sweet. It's good, but it's so weird. It was weird in the beginning. Sweet blonde.
yeah. So
it was a little weird. Now it's all good.
that's pretty hilarious.
Not that
It's-
weird. It was kind of like, so we work together?
Yeah.
What? Or work at the same company?
You know, I've never worked with Mike. Like we sit close to each other and we're on the same team. He does automation, I do mechanical. So it's like our
Yeah.
worlds don't come together. Like if we're working on a project together, which we haven't even done that,
Yeah.
then like still like I would do the mechanical portion
Yeah.
and he would do the automation portion.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't know. He's pretty good at what he does, it seems like. Like
He was always smart in school.
Yeah.
yeah.
He just did dumb stuff.
He just
Yeah.
did other dumb stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, his tolerance for risk taking is like on the opposite end of the spectrum from mine. Like you guys know me, like I'm super risk averse.
yeah, for sure. But he's like, fuck it, let's do it.
Oh yeah, he's I don't
But
know.
has he gone full like religious now?
Well, I think he's always been religious.
It just didn't really practice it.
No, no, I think he did. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because I said Thomas a screenshot once on Facebook where he's like, he was joining some sort of like Bible reading
Yeah.
event. And I was like, I didn't know he was religious.
You know, like I've never talked to him about that stuff. But like I know he's like some of his closest friends right now. Like at his wedding, like I think most of those guys were kind of through his church or whatever kind of thing. So
Oh.
no, like I'm pretty sure at least since junior high, I recall like him doing something on that front. But like I've never done anything. and
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really talk about it all that much.
Yeah,
so I don't know
yeah.
any details, but.
I've never talked to him.
But
about
yeah,
it,
it's kind of as long as I can remember him, except for like when we were like in elementary school. I remember that sort of, yeah.
interesting.
So that's not something new.
We talk about religion at work a lot.
We do actually.
You guys do?
Well, there's a lot of religious people at work.
Yeah.
Really?
Probably more than the average, would you say? Or is it we just don't
I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of people.
How do you know? Like they say they go to church or like it's...
Well, a lot of people. There's like two people we talk to about religion. One of them's like Catholic, I think, and one of them's Muslim.
Yeah.
But like they're both very much Catholic and Muslim.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Is there
right?
conflict?
Yeah.
no conflict.
That's good.
Oh, they're easygoing.
Yeah.
So like, you can kind of poke them about stuff,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
and they won't get mad.
Like the guy who's Muslim,
Mm-hmm.
like doesn't drink, and he like for sure believes that everyone that's not Muslim will go to hell.
Mm-hmm.
Like no
Yeah.
question about it.
Okay.
And what I find fascinating about that is like he's a software developer, which is like sort of the more logical
Yeah.
field of work.
Yeah.
So why can't you apply? I guess what I'm trying to say is I find religion illogical.
Yeah.
So since we're in a logical environment,
Yeah.
where it's like if then this that's
Yep.
your whole life.
Yep.
Why doesn't it translate? But that's just my perspective.
Yeah, I think that's like I agree. Like you can look at it that way, but everything's so much more black and white, or not black and white.
It is.
You know, it's.
Everything is very gray.
But no, I could see looking at it that way for sure.
They don't push it on anyone though. They're really nice.
Yeah, like it's a hard thing for me to really piece together too.
So you're pretty atheist still?
Yeah, like I think I wouldn't. There's like things to me that I can't explain, and I'm not gonna chalk it up to like, like a book or any particular religion kind of thing.
Okay.
But like I have like a belief of there being more than what we know. I don't know
Right.
what that is, but just stuff like being born and death are like incomprehensible enough for me to like warrant like some thought like I don't know, like it just like doesn't totally make sense to me that like I didn't exist for billions of years or whatever, and like somehow I exist now, and all I am is chemical reactions and biology, and there is no like like spirit or soul type portion to it, like
sure.
it's yeah, like it's
No, I agree with that. I sometimes think that we're all just like chemical reactions.
Yeah.
But then
I can't.
there's too
fathom
much
it.
unknown that you
Yeah.
think that there must be something greater than us out there.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
But I don't chalk it up as God.
Yeah, and that's pretty much me too. Like another one is like just like cells. Like we consider cells to be living things, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a biologist, but like, and we're made up of cells. So like, what you know what I mean? Kind of like you're made up of lots of living things. Are they each
Yeah.
kind of like an individual living thing, or are you some kind of like all of them put together, and that's your consciousness? Like it's
interesting. And are we the only conscious beings? Like, are self-aware? It seems like humans are the only self-aware.
I don't even know how to define self-aware.
Like, we're aware that we're something.
Yeah.
And that there's other things out there. But would you say your dog is?
That it's aware that it's a dog?
Yeah.
I think it knows it's a dog.
Do you think?
It's got to know it's a dog because when it sees another dog, it gets fucking excited.
Yeah, or is
But
that
that's
just chemical
it.
reactions?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's got to be aware of it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's aware. I think animals are aware, but yeah, like you keep drilling down, right? And then it's like there's got to be a line drawn somewhere where something's alive and something isn't, right?
Tardigrades. Have you heard of tardigrades?
No.
They're like this I think they're a single-celled organism.
They're not the tiny bears, are they?
The tiny what?
Tiny bears?
Tiny bears?
Yeah.
What is that?
Just look up smallest living organism or something.
bears.
I think, I don't know, I might be making something up, but I swear it must have been on Reddit or something like that. It's like the smallest
Oops.
living.
Yeah, let me read it out to you.
Yeah. Something came up, or you're searching yours?
They're an 8-legged segmented microanimal.
Oh, okay.
They kind of look like oh yeah, they're called water bears.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I've heard of these things.
Yeah.
Tardigrades?
On the Joe Rogan podcast, obviously, which is the podcast.
Oh, they're actually bigger than I thought. They're 0.5 millimeter when they're fully grown.
Oh, that's decent size in the
And they're-
molecule scale.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And they just like exist in water or something like that? Is that
They
their-
can exist in like the most hostile environments
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
So, like at a feminist rally.
They could exist
cutting that
like in the vacuum of space.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, crazy,
The vacuum?
crazy places.
So how do they have energy?
You could probably be dormant.
Just energy neutral?
I don't know. I guess.
You tell me, Mark.
I don't know. I
You're
told
the
you I'm not a biologist.
Well, Mark, you ready to rock?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So, welcome.
Let's do it.
you. I honestly thought we have been doing it.
We have been, yeah. Thomas will probably edit this out, but start earlier.
Well,
Yeah.
Andrew kept leaving.
Yeah, sorry. I really had to
Okay.
pee. I
Gotcha.
knew we already started.
Get more comfortable.
I knew we already started, but
Yeah.
I couldn't help to pee.
Yeah. No worries.
So I wanted to bring you on, ask you a few questions.
Sounds good.
Didn't Mark want to come on?
Well, he was interested, I think.
I think we had like a conversation a while ago, and then you guys mentioned that you were doing it, and that it'd be cool to talk about like SpaceX or Tesla or whatever. And then just like, I think I couldn't commit to a time or something like that, and then I was like, should do it. Like, it'd be a
Yeah,
fun thing to
it's
do,
fun.
so.
I think the long form conversation is interesting
Mhm.
because we don't do that much anymore.
It's true.
Like, when you're a caveman and you're sitting around the fire,
Yeah.
you're just sitting around for 5 hours.
Yep.
We don't have that much anymore.
Yeah.
We kind of always have this stimulation from all over the place.
Yep, for
So I
sure.
think it's cool to sit down and talk to people.
Yeah, I agree.
And just have a discussion about different things.
Yeah.
One of the things I thought I wanted to poke your brain about was, do you agree with Elon that we should make life multiplanetary?
For sure.
First name basis. By the way.
Yeah.
That's
Which
Elon Musk.
are you talking about?
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
So do you agree with SpaceX's vision
Yeah,
or whatever that life should be multiplanetary?
for sure.
For sure. Why is
Yeah.
it?
I really like his when you get up in the morning you should have something that you're really excited about. Like I like that kind of stuff where it's like having a really grand view of the future. Like I like sci-fi and like all that kind of stuff. So it's just like a future that I would hope for, or like one that I would hope to even see a little bit of. Like that's kind of the types of stuff that I think about every once in a while. I'm like, oh, I wonder like how far we're gonna get by the time I'm like 80.
Yeah,
you know, like
something inspiring.
What am I gonna get to see? And like I would like to definitely see like more stuff on that frontier.
Right.
So whether that's Mars or the moon or just like really low cost satellites and space stations, or just any progress on that front, and something that's really exciting to me for sure. So
yeah, because the way they sort of verse it, and I think it's Elon Musk that says it. It's like it's two parts. A, we should be multiplanetary because we'll eventually become extinct on Earth.
Yeah,
that's been the trend of other dominant mammals. And then the second half is what you talked about.
Yep.
Which is the inspirational part of it.
Yep.
So you look at it from like almost a strictly a.
Oh, I look at it from both. Like, I think you have to cultivate both.
Okay.
Like you have to cultivate. Well, I guess that was a little, but like you want to make life on Earth better, like more sustainable, more people not to live in poverty and all that stuff. Like that's always the argument, right? Like Earth has enough problems, why spend money on space, kind of thing, right?
Right.
But I'm kind of the viewpoint that you'll never really be at a point where things are good enough, you know, like on Earth.
For sure.
And that it makes sense to spend some resources on, you know, space or colonization and all that kind of stuff. The one place, like, we spend so many billions of dollars on military and armed conflict and stuff like that. I think that's where you should pull the money from if you're worried about Earth problems. Like, I don't think you should pull it from, you know, any endeavor that's pushing boundaries like SpaceX or Blue Origin or whatever. So
yeah, I've heard an argument before that even if the space colonization is unsuccessful, the science that we get out of trying will be worth it here on Earth.
Yeah. Like,
and I think because you can go back in time at any other attempts at pushing the boundary and that we discovered something that's used day to day.
For sure.
Yeah.
You always have to be pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
And then, like, we'll stumble on stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how much stuff we deliberately develop that's not an accident.
It's kind of sad to say, but it's probably true.
Yeah. Like, the key is just to be trying stuff, I think.
Yeah.
But like materials, like there's some like really cool, exciting materials. Like I think graphene is a really exciting material that they're trying to develop and like mass produce and stuff like that. Like super lightweight, super strong. And if you could build it, like, you know, you could do things today that you can't, right? Like without that material, there's nothing strong enough, you know, to make a space elevator or something like that.
Right.
We don't have the material. Doesn't exist today. Doesn't mean we can't make it, not necessarily. So that's kind of cool stuff to me, like the idea of unlocking technologies that will make things possible that you probably didn't even think of. You know, like I'm sure there's lots of like science or technologies that were discovered that we didn't realize we had a need for them until you discovered something, and then you're like, oh man, like now we can make an internal combustion engine or something. Like that. We can make a car. You never thought of a car before you had some technology or whatever, right? Yeah. So it's that kind of stuff's exciting to me, like the things that we haven't even thought of yet. Yeah. And maybe we'll get to do. Yeah, if you look back at when they used to wire houses for light, like when the first light bulbs were invented and mass produced, and then someone thought, well, we could use electricity for other things. Yeah. So the first few houses that were wired for light, when the first washing machine came out, it had like a light bulb socket at the end. Yeah. And you like plugged it into your like light fixture that had like a bunch of lights on it. Yeah. Because no one thought about what could come out of wiring houses for electricity, but now that we do, now we have that capacity to do anything with electricity. Yeah. So the same point. Yeah. In creating you can't even say creating. I mean, using the molecules that we know to have a new material. Yeah. Who knows what comes out of that? Oh, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So the endeavors or the good things that come out of the endeavors of going to Mars seem to
be worth it, especially when we're spending money on other things that might not be as valuable.
Yeah. Like that's one that's always makes me super sad. Like, man, the amount of people you could feed, the amount of like things you could do with the money that we spend on military. Like don't get me wrong, I'm not like a guy that's like, oh, we don't need the military.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to say that.
Right.
But certainly everyone would be better off if they just like decided not to fight, right?
Yeah, well, for
like
sure.
the world would be much, much better.
Yeah.
So
I like what Elon said. He's like, well, you know, we spend a lot of money on developing lipstick.
Yeah.
So if we're going to do that, maybe we should spend some money on developing space. I mean, he's not wrong.
No, 100%.
Like,
there's arguments to be made everywhere,
yeah,
right? On whether you should spend money on it or not.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know.
But it seems that like even the was it the moon race? Sorry, that's what it was called. That a lot of in sort of technological advancement came out of that too. So
yeah,
it seems worth it.
Yeah.
So if SpaceX unlocks the key to Mars, would you go?
Like permanently?
Oh yeah.
Like one way ticket?
One way.
Me alone?
You
Kelsey get to come?
Well, because he said the way he described it is you'd be able to go for the price of a home.
Yeah.
Right? Which makes sense. So
Yep.
sell your place.
Yep.
And you buy a ticket to Mars where houses are $0.
Yep.
So yeah, Kelsey, of course,
Yeah.
would come into that.
Yeah.
But would you do it?
Probably not permanently. Not unless it was like really starting to get well developed. Like I would like to visit for sure. That may not be an option.
You want to be a visitor?
Yeah. Or live there with the ability to come back. But like there's no like for me, if you told me like Mark, you and Kelsey have a choice today, go to Mars for the rest of your life or stay on Earth, like I'd probably say stay on Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, yeah, that's probably what most people would say.
Yeah.
I think they're planning the transportation to be both ways.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm asking is, would you go there with the intention of staying there? Or would you, I think you'd always have the option to come back, but would you go there with the intention of staying there?
Probably not. Okay. No, I would like to do, like if I could, in an ideal world, like it would be cool to do like a stint on Mars. Like, like a couple years or something like that.
Quick exchange.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I don't know, if you could go down there and you were like skilled enough that you were some expert in whatever you did, and you're just like, hey, like I'll go for free or like whatever, I'll spend $250K, go down there, work for 2 years, making things, I don't know, better or whatever, and then come back. That would be the ideal. Like I don't know. I like the idea of going to another planet. Or just space, period. But I wouldn't say permanently, no.
Do you think it's comparable to when people were sort of thinking of going to North America, like on a 3 or 4 week boat trip? Do you think that's comparable? I know the distance isn't the same, but there used to be a time when people were like, hey, maybe we should go to North America. And everyone was like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you think that's comparable?
If Mars was like Earth, I think it would be comparable.
But they showed up with nothing.
For sure, they showed up with nothing, but like that's a different hurdle. It's unclear in my mind. But no, I like some aspects, yes.
Yeah.
For sure. Like I've thought about that too. Like people that are going to Mars or are going to be going to Mars, like it's like colonization. It's like the same thing, right? The new world kind of thing. So yeah, I think it has some resemblance for sure, and it's probably like similar people, like in nature, that want to do it.
The explorers, the super risky explorers.
Yeah, exactly. But I think like we're probably at like also like different point in civilization, kind of. I don't know. I think it's a bit different.
Yeah,
I think so.
I agree. I think like even getting water on Mars is a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
They just found ice, by the way. Did you guys see that today?
I saw the photo.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut in, but go ahead, Thomas.
These explorers, I'm sure, weren't too concerned with water being on the other end.
Yeah.
Or breathing.
Yeah, or breathing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oxygen, nitrogen.
I think it's like a different caliber.
Yeah.
And you sort of already know the problems. Like Like we've scouted it out. Like we have rovers there and satellites and all this stuff. Like you know what problems you're gonna face, and you're pretty much gonna develop all the solutions. There's no like unknown.
Yeah.
Really there. Like I think if you're coming to North America, you like really don't know what's in store for you.
Yeah.
You know, it's.
But you know you can walk around and breathe and drink
for sure.
water. Yeah.
But I think it's quite different.
It's different. Okay, fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Because that was the comparison that, once again, my good friend Elon said.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
Is that there was a time when people thought moving to North America was ridiculous.
Yep.
Like so I just wondered if...
Oh, I think people should move to Mars. I think people should do it. I just don't know if I want to do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, if I was born like 200 years later and there's like a colony of like 10,000 people there or something, maybe I'd say something different. But it's like, if we're going in our lifetime, which is like, it's all super hypothetical and obviously just not going to happen. But, you know, it'll be a lot different than that, right? Like it'll be really small scale, probably super high risk.
Yeah, very high risk.
And
probably pretty shitty.
Probably pretty bad, yeah.
It'd probably be shitty, yeah.
Yeah. I'd still do it for a short bit, though. I just wouldn't do it permanently.
Yeah. I think even SpaceX has said, like, people will die. But they still make that same comparison that people died trying to cross the Atlantic Ocean, right?
People will die.
People will die
in their cars, and people will die at work, and we know they will.
100%. So this endeavor might be still worth it.
Oh, 100%
given all that,
for sure,
risk.
It's worth it. Yeah, absolutely. You just have to be the right type of person to do it.
You have to be an adventurer. Yeah, I've wondered myself. Sometimes I think for sure I'd do it.
Yeah,
and then other days I was like, no.
Wow.
Like I like my cozy, predictable life. Somewhat predictable life.
No, like our lives are pretty good.
Yeah,
like the way they are. Like I don't know, we can do this. We can.
Yeah.
Kind of do whatever we want, really.
Yeah.
Ultimate freedom.
But then you think, shouldn't you challenge yourself?
Yeah.
And like do something really hard?
Oh, for sure. Like, but I think like, is that why you would shy away from it because it's hard, or would you shy away from it because of like risk to your life?
I wouldn't shy away because it's hard. I would shy away because it's so unknown. Mm-hmm. Like, what am I doing?
Well, I'm assuming you'd have a good purpose for going.
Like, but
like I don't know, you're just gonna go and like sit in a lawn chair and
like in one of those towers,
yeah.
those like big, whatever those things are, those like forts where they have like all the oxygen inside.
Yeah. One of those bubbles or something. I don't know. Yeah.
We'll see, but I think it'll be interesting. I think SpaceX has said that the BFR is like coming along nicely.
Yeah.
And in theory, it should transport people. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Are you guys pretty like diehard SpaceX? Like, what do you guys think of Blue Origin and stuff like that? Like, is there any, or you don't care? Like, personally, to some degree, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I watched one of their launches.
Yeah.
It was, I forget which launch it was. It was like a month ago or more.
I don't remember.
Blue Origin.
I think their rocket looks silly.
Yeah, that's fair.
But you know what actually struck me, Mark?
Yeah.
Is I was listening to an interview with Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
And he's talking about how Amazon is not his passion in life.
Yeah.
Like his passion is to explore space.
Yeah.
And that he needed find like money for it.
Yeah.
And the financial means to do that. And he's like, I won the lottery with Amazon.
Yep.
And my actual purpose himself is to do start Blue Origin and start the development of space, which I thought was fascinating.
Yeah.
So when I heard that he's not actually completely invested in Amazon as far as his purpose, that I was like, whoa, this is legit, interesting. Kinda. I should pay more attention.
Yeah. My initial exposure to them was that whole the race to land a rocket, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And then being like, we're the first ones kind of thing, with their like really small, just like they shoot it straight up and it comes straight back down. There's no like maneuver. There's like, it's just like you pop up into the edge of space and you come back down. And it was a rocket of like probably like a third of the scale of, you know, a SpaceX rocket, which also had like a purpose of delivering a payload.
Yeah.
Like it's just not really like a comparable thing. And they had this little Twitter bickering match on like who was first, kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
And I think like at that moment, I didn't really like Blue Origin. I was kind of like, oh, this is kind of stupid. Like this is like they don't seem very serious about it. But now I would agree. Like I didn't know that about Jeff Bezos. I haven't followed Blue Origin at all, but you can tell that they're serious about it.
He's very serious.
Like it's and it's not like it doesn't seem, I don't know, like he's thinking on the grand scale as well.
Like he's had ideas where we push all of Earth's manufacturing to space, and then whatever we build, like we put these manufacturing plants in orbit around the Earth, and they just like drop the goods back to Earth. Like why have a manufacturing plant on Earth when you can put it in space? You have all the advantages of like no gravity. You have like great energy resources from the sun. You can have solar panels kilometers long. So like he's thinking that kind of scale, right? He's not just trying to like win a competition against Elon Musk. He's actually thinking about what the access to space could do. So I took it seriously that way.
Yeah, for sure. No, I would agree. And I don't even know if, like, I definitely initially thought that Elon Musk is like the one that reignited the space race. And he probably like, I think he is kind of a pioneer in that sense. And I don't know like who was thinking of reusability first, but I would say that's kind of his big, space contribution
100%.
that really like got people to start looking at it differently. And it was kind of like a funny thing that it would almost seem like obvious in a way that would lower costs massively, but like technically the hurdle just seemed too big, right? And there was no motivation to change it, right? Like when you had like just ULA or Russia or like whoever, right? Like you could just keep doing it the same way. Government's still going to pay them.
100%.
Still going to be taxpayer dollars. And it costs what it costs.
Because you're the only one doing it.
You're the only one doing
charge
it.
That
exactly.
Rate,
So you can just build your outrageous rockets and and charge people
just hammer away.
like hundreds of millions of dollars for a launch, right? But so that's probably his big contribution. But like I'm pretty sure Jeff Bezos, I'm assuming he didn't start gaining an interest in it, after Elon Musk did.
No, exactly.
Like it's definitely a parallel path.
That's what I found interesting.
So.
Just Elon Musk started a rocket company first. That's the difference. But I think they both have the same end goal. Which is like reasonable priced access to space. And speaking of reusability, how epic was the Falcon Heavy launch?
It was that was probably one of the most incredible things I watched live. I think for me,
100%,
like, top 5 easily.
The landing was amazing.
It was staggering. Like
it blew my mind. Those two boosters landing beside each other was just. Well, it was like simultaneous.
Yeah, it was like within probably a fraction of a second. No,
like they were in space.
Yeah,
that's what I can't wrap my head around.
Yeah,
they were in space.
Yeah,
and they launched this the payload. And like still had the fuel to like it was ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's
so that right there already gives Elon the credibility of bringing some level of reusability to space access. Sorry.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
Was that Falcon Heavy launch? That was amazing. Yeah,
it was incredible. No, I remember I was at a meeting at an engineering firm's office, and I left for it. Like it was like it was like a long whatever. I don't remember some design review or something like that, and I was just like
exactly. You don't remember
for 15 minutes. Like this is like I'm not missing out. You just stepped out
and you went back.
No, I just went down the elevator to the lobby of the building, and I just like watched on my phone, and it was so worth it.
Yeah. No, it was amazing. That I think, but that's part of what you were saying before about the inspiring part. Yeah, it's like now people are cheering for this the next vehicle to do something similar or even better, like be even more reusable and carry a higher payload. So I think that inspiration there is worth a lot. Like I still watched the launch. I've watched it probably 10 times. Like, it was amazing.
No, it's
me personally, one person. Maybe other people don't feel the same way, maybe they do, but there's that inspiration factor.
No, I think that's like a milestone type, especially like, it seemed like a tall order, right? Like first launch, it's a pretty big feat to try, right? You kind of expect it to blow up, right? Or or to launch fine, but you don't expect the boosters to come down.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it was just the main booster didn't land on the drone ship, right?
Yeah.
Like the fact that that's the only thing that they couldn't pull off on their first launch of the biggest vehicle that is the biggest vehicle that's operational today, right?
It had twice the payload to orbit than Saturn V. Is that right?
No. Saturn V is still the biggest.
Most payload?
It may have been.
I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, I think the Saturn V still has a bigger payload.
Oh, really? Okay, sorry.
I think it might not be a great ratio.
Yeah, so I saw
but
some comparison where it's like twice as good as Saturn V, so it must not be.
It may have had like a better like weight to payload ratio or something like that, but I'm pretty sure like the Saturn V is still the biggest.
It was actually designed to go to Mars.
Yeah.
That's why it was so damn big.
Thing is enormous.
Yeah, that thing was,
You guys got to go, like if you guys go to Florida, you got to go to the Kennedy Space Center, and they got that thing just like, on the side kind of thing in a massive warehouse, and it's staggeringly large. Like it's like a skyscraper.
Really?
That's like going to space. Yeah. Like it's.
Is it on its side?
Yep. Yeah.
Cool.
So, and they have it broken into pieces. So it's like lengthwise in the warehouse, and then they'll have like the first stage and the second stage, and it'll be split so you can see like the in-between portions and the engines of each portion and stuff. But it's like comically large. Like this is, and the payload is just like the end piece.
Yeah.
That's like not even that. It's still pretty big. Like a moon lander is pretty big.
Yeah.
Like it's not, tiny.
Yeah, it's small compared to the whole vehicle.
Yeah, it's small compared to the whole vehicle. Like it's
probably one of those things where when you actually get there and see it, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's truly. One thing I didn't like about the Kennedy Space Center was like almost everything had there was like a lot of show behind it. Like anything that you'd go see, you'd pretty much go in an area, they'd close the doors behind you, it'd be a big screen, they'd give you a 10-minute video on the screen, then you could go into the exhibit. So it'd be like for the Saturn V rocket, it would be like you'd go into like a mock like launch center, which actually I think was like the launch center sort of. Yeah. And they'd like, have like light up stations of different like control room people like being like, oh, like check this, check that, and it would light up, and it would, they'd have the voices and all that stuff playing, and then they'd say go for launch, and they'd do the countdown, and the room would start shaking, and there'd be lights and all that stuff, and they'd let you into the room with the Saturn V. So like that, I wasn't crazy about the theatrics before it, but like it was like it's crazy when you go see this stuff. And same with the space shuttle. That one was actually a pretty cool intro because they would like do the intro, and then the screen goes transparent, and the space shuttle's like behind it. Yeah. So that was like actually a pretty cool like effect. I was like, that was pretty sweet.
That wasn't too over dramatic.
Yeah.
Sweet.
But yeah, that was a cool one. If you guys go to Florida, like it's a must. It's a must. Yeah, if you like space, for sure.
Oh, yeah, I'm a big SpaceX fan.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So we're pro space.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
Yeah. No, it's a cool thing.
Yeah. Well, we got through question 1.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you got more?
I got one quick one.
Okay.
It's not quick, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
So there's like a lot of alarm, it seems, about the onset of machine intelligence.
Yeah.
That we're developing these pretty cool algorithms that on paper will surpass human intelligence. Mm-hmm. The singularity or whatever word you want to use.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Does it concern you?
Yeah, I think for sure. Like it's not something I think we should ignore or take lightly. But I don't know like enough about it to know how real the threat is. But the fact that like Bill Gates and Elon Musk, Bill Gates is worried about it, right? I'm pretty sure. Like he's one of the.
Yeah, he basically said as soon as it was an interview with him and Elon Musk actually, and he said once it hits silicon, he said silicon.
Yeah.
Silicone and silicon are two different things.
Which one's the one I'm trying to say?
Silicon.
Oh yeah.
Once it hits silicone, it's staying there.
Rats! I should have just kept going. He said once it hits silicon, there's no turning back.
Yeah.
Like once the code hits a machine, that's it. Whatever happens.
Yeah.
He kind of looks at it in a passive way, like there's almost nothing we can do about it. That's what his perspective is.
It's probably true.
Yeah. And he didn't seem, I don't think he's as worried because he thinks it's inevitable. That's the impression I got from this interview.
Yeah.
But it's only inevitable because we're causing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct.
So it's like if everyone sat on their hands, it wouldn't happen.
Which is impossible.
But
In my opinion.
No, but I think that's the issue, is that humans have this innate drive to
I think you would have to
innovate.
probably have one dictator that rules the world and like the most iron grip, and I think it would still get out. Like I don't think you can stop it, honestly. Just like from a numbers game perspective, like you need one smart person. Like I guess I don't know how hard. Like it's obviously really hard since we haven't done it. Thank you. Or I don't think we've done it.
But what concerns me is that looking at it theoretically, so a computer can calculate things faster than a human brain, right? Like it can process more information.
Mm-hmm.
So electricity and transistors can manipulate information faster than the human brain.
Yep.
The only issue is that software isn't smart enough
Yep.
to be intelligent.
Yep.
I think the issue there is that people think that we're smarter than we really are.
Okay.
We're just input-output beings, right?
Yeah.
Like you see food, you get hungry.
Yeah.
But
I
really,
eat
what?
food.
Yeah.
But are we more special than that? I don't think so. I think we're input-output organisms ourselves, just on a biological level.
Yeah.
Again, I don't have the research to back this up,
Sure.
but that's my perception.
Yeah.
Whereas a machine is the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is that it can process information way, way faster. So if it
Yep.
has the same software that we did,
Mm-hmm.
it would surpass our intelligence. In
Yeah,
seconds.
for sure.
That's what I'm.
Oh, if you could copy the human brain and the way it works and make code,
Yeah.
And
and
remove
you
all
plug
the
it
bad
into
stuff.
and you plug it into a computer, of course it'll be way better than us.
So do you think that can be done?
Oh, I don't know.
So if you're not sure, but you're worried about it.
I would be concerned about like the outcome of that occurring, whether it's possible or not. I'm not sure, right? Like it's
So you're not sure it's possible.
um
You don't think it's inevitable, maybe. Is that the
if it's possible, it's inevitable.
okay, but you just don't know if it's possible.
That's my thinking. Like, but maybe we can't create it. Maybe that's also kind of
Really?
like maybe we're too confident in ourselves and our ability to create it.
I think about it the other way. I think that beings aren't special, that special, so that we can eventually program something.
Because we're not that special.
I don't think
it's
we're that
programmable.
special. Yes.
Yeah. No, computers are getting better and better, right? Like it's like facial recognition or learning what a cat is. Like they always have like examples like that, right?
Yeah.
Like you start showing a computer what cats are or pictures
Yeah.
of cats, and they're going to start to recognize like what a cat is. It'll be
Yeah.
able to say this picture has a cat, this one doesn't, so on and so forth, right? So like I'd say we're trending to better and better, machine intelligence, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But whether we're going to have that singularity moment where it's like a limitless learning potential, because I think that's what we consider ourselves, right? If we could live forever, then like really we can figure anything out eventually, right?
That's true, yeah.
And it's like that's our concern, is that it would just be an accelerated version of that we probably couldn't control.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
And it's so I don't know. Yeah, I guess my position's that I'm not sure if it's possible or not, but I'm obviously concerned of the outcome if it is possible.
Yeah.
And it's another one of those things that's hard to fathom. Like I've talked to Braden a bunch about this, but it's like, okay, so let's say you're working on machine intelligence, you're in a bunker, you're not connected to the internet, all you have is a computer,
Yeah.
and you manage to program this human equivalent intelligence into it. Okay, well now what? Like it's in a bunker, it's not connected to anything. Is it so smart that it will like manipulate the people or be able to somehow use what it has to surpass the boundaries that we create for it? Or is that we're just going to produce it so irresponsibly that it will be hooked up to the internet or whatever, and that's how it'll get out? Like, but I think if we're super careful about it, I can't fathom what a computer could do to get itself out there. Like maybe hide it in its own code, and then like someone like I don't know. Like,
I see what you're saying.
It's
have you seen Ex?
I have.
Ex Machina?
I have.
How do you say that word? Machinima?
Ex Machina, Machima. I don't know.
I think it's Machina.
Machina, maybe.
Is it Ex
I don't-
Machina? Oh boy,
I think it's
I should
Machina.
stop trying.
I think it's Ex Machina.
Yeah, so
You guys butcher the French language. Out of it.
so that's a great kind of bunker experiment, right? Like
Well, that would be how I hope we do it.
in movie form.
But
right?
you're
But it got out.
talking like we'd only ever do it once.
Yeah, well, that's what I
Like,
mean.
Eventually, it would be connected to the internet.
Yeah.
Even if that bunker one died or just sat there,
Well,
that's
like,
not going to stay the.
in my
only one.
perfect world, you build it in a bunker, and the only way that you get it to do things is by feeding it information, like via, non-transmitting devices, basically,
like a floppy drive.
or a person typing on a computer, like straight up,
But
like,
eventually, you
whatever.
want to unleash that power on the web, or with an unlimited stream of information.
What about a
Like,
copy of the web?
I don't disagree with you, but I just think as the
For
person
sure, it's
developing
a statistical
that product,
thing. Like eventually,
they're-
you'll have an irresponsible person. So maybe that's the risk. Maybe it's
and I think that's what I'm thinking about is that given the basis that machines can process electricity and transistors can
Yeah.
process information faster than
Yep.
humans, that fact alone, like there's no stopping it. That's what I think about. Like you could have all these scenarios in a bunker and all this stuff, but maybe someone's not in a bunker. Maybe they're just connected to the web and they don't care,
for sure.
and they just hit start and see what
Yeah,
happens.
absolutely. And then whatever happens, happens.
Because the issue is that the information is processed so quickly. Like,
Yeah.
let's say you have machine intelligence that's built by a hedge fund company to like maximize the profit of like one stock,
Yeah.
as an example. And they're like, well, the best way to do this is to cause a world war,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It doesn't like, and it goes through the actions of doing that so fast. It's like, and it's out of control.
Yeah.
It's copied itself to different locations.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The information is processed so fast,
Yeah.
and the decisions are made so quickly with like a general machine intelligence that once you set that parameter,
Yeah.
it's over.
Yeah, for sure.
It's out there.
Yeah.
And then it causes a world war.
Yeah.
But there's going to be people who work on this stuff that don't care.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they'll be like, "Don't attack me. Anything else is fair game."
100%.
But
Go
could
do
you
your
give?
thing.
Do you think you could give it rules?
Yeah.
You think so?
But is
Yeah, because it's still like when you develop it, you can set like the boundaries.
So it's as easy as that. You don't need a bunker.
well, if you do
well,
it
you-
perfectly,
Programmers make mistakes,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
And
you could.
But like people can hack software.
Yeah.
Could a software not like hack itself, basically?
yeah.
I don't know. Like,
Probably could. Yeah.
I mean, like if
I
it
have no
rewrites itself.
yeah, like I don't know. I kind of, or even if you like you said, you put in the boundaries, but someone's going to do it wrong. Coder makes a mistake or something like that. Yeah. So like, I agree that if you come up with it and you connect it to our systems, then like at that point it's too late, right? And then the outcome's the outcome.
Yeah.
We don't know what the outcome
So-
is.
Yeah. So if we assume that's inevitable, what's
Yeah.
the outcome?
Oh, I think there's no predicting it.
What would you say it is?
No clue.
No clue.
I think
Do
yeah.
you think we go back to like where there's ants are like super brilliant species when like I've heard ants like they
Yeah.
work together to build
Mhm.
like these amazing things. Like, are we going to be ants, and the machine intelligence are the humans?
Could be. Yeah, it could be. Would you say that?
I think there'll be the gap between us and ants. The gap between us and the AI will be much bigger.
So even worse.
Probably. Yeah.
I don't disagree at all
Yeah.
They'll be like,
Probably depends how much of a threat we are then, I guess.
because we're just still operating on biological circuits
Yeah.
that have limits.
Yeah.
Like we need to eat and sleep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Computers need replacement parts and your laptop gets old.
Not machine intelligence. Okay, so go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, like it's such a I don't think we can comprehend it, honestly. Like I think it's again one of those things that like until it happens, like you can't have the foresight to anticipate what could happen. It could be really bad, maybe be okay, or maybe be really good. Like
Yeah,
you
like Google CEO has been asked this a few times, Sundar Pichai,
Mhm.
because they focused almost all their products towards machine learning.
Yeah.
Like in Gmail, you can notice it when you're writing an email; it has like auto fill for you. Like so, they're
The Google Photos one is pretty cool.
Yeah, you can search for things in the photo.
Like you can type cat. And
Yeah.
Show you all your photos with
Yeah,
cats.
yeah. Well, like our phones, like you can look up photos with your particular friends in them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they're focusing on that. And they ask him the same questions. And his outlook is that machine intelligence is only going to help us. Like looking at MRIs of a human and like being able to, machine can spend seconds diagnosing what's going on versus a doctor taking hours or maybe missing something.
Yeah.
So he looks at it. I mean, he's a Google CEO, so I'm not sure how much bias there is there, but he looks at it from a positive point of view.
So to me though, is that machine learning or is that artificial intelligence? Because I think they're different.
I agree. So maybe that's just a narrow machine learning and general artificial intelligence. But what I'm saying, they're trending that way.
Yeah.
So when they're asked about, can you create general intelligence, like what will happen?
Yeah.
They're still positive about that.
Yeah, if you could control it, then it's guaranteed to be positive. But if you can't control it, then it's an unknown. Like it'd be like, how do you predict what something that's potentially way smarter than you is going to do?
Yeah.
Like
you can't.
You can't.
And
I don't think.
And their point of view is that they're going to solve, machine intelligence is going to solve problems that we have no idea how to solve.
For sure.
Right? Like things like climate change and
these might be problems we don't want them to solve. Like, how do you hack every device on the internet?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the security flaw in every device?
Yeah.
Like, how do I control Tesla's entire fleet of vehicles remotely?
Yeah.
And he would figure it out. So if we go a step further, so you think that if it's possible, it's inevitable.
Yep.
I think it's possible, so I think it's inevitable.
Yep.
If that's the case, then eventually machine intelligence will kind of rule our understanding of reality. So what's to say that has not happened already? Do you think we're already in a machine?
That we're already, like, are you talking like the Matrix or that?
Like, would you say it's possible that we're in a simulation already?
Oh, okay. Yeah, like
so
Elon's simulation thing.
So like machine intelligence took over like 1 million years ago.
And we're just batteries.
And we're just like, we're in a chip flash drive somewhere. Would you say that's possible?
Sure. Yeah, it's probably possible. Yeah.
But do you think like you don't think about that too much?
No.
Okay.
To me, I don't know if it's a pointless,
it's kind of pointless.
Question to some degree. Like, I don't think that's something that, unless we're going to figure it out, like, then there's...
Maybe we will figure it out.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Then it won't be pointless. Like, if all of a sudden everyone knows that they're in a VR, that they're a chip, it's not so much of a pointless question. But it's not something I don't think we could really figure out. I don't think.
Just look for a glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah. Deja vu, right?
That's what I've been searching for. Yeah. So I have those existential crises every now and then.
Really?
Yeah. Where I think about that.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I don't know. Yeah.
When I start thinking about that, it's usually start thinking about, like, why anything?
100%. Why anything?
What's the point?
Why is there even all this versus nothing?
Are you talking more like purpose, or are you just talking about
purpose?
Like more
like,
like reality?
Why are there molecules even at all?
I don't know. That's probably impossible to answer.
So you don't care about the questions you can't answer?
Yeah, I guess. I try not to. Like, I can't. Like, I've thought.
That's a good way to live.
I guess I've thought about it, but yeah, like I don't think there is, as far as I know, like any way of finding that out. Maybe if we stumble upon it one day, then sure, then it's like
it'd be cool to find out.
It would,
yeah.
But I'm not going to spend my time trying to find out.
Why does anything exist?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, isn't that like a physics question or something? Like that's some.
Well, you can look at it from a few angles.
I don't think they know what happened, like the Big Bang.
I don't even know how like understood the Big Bang is.
I don't think it's very well understood.
Yeah.
And they don't know anything before that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, everyone's probably thought about that stuff. Like, what's the beginning, right? But that's kind of like probably the human need for it. You know what I mean? Like everything in life has beginnings and ends and so on and so forth. So it's like physics doesn't need to have that story, right? We do as humans. And like, so it can drive us crazy, but...
Well, I think that's why we're here right now in North America with electricity. Because humans have a need to like... push.
Yeah, for sure. To understand, right?
Yeah, why is there a drive to survive?
I think that's biological.
But like, why?
Yeah, like
again, why are we trying so hard to stay alive?
Yeah, that's
no, but like seriously, like we have a pretty good life.
Yeah.
But think about other humans that are grown up in impoverished nations. Like, why are they trying so hard to stay alive? Why is that in our DNA?
To reproduce? I don't know. Something about life, right?
Where did that start?
Well,
but why does life want to like continue?
Yeah.
Why is that the goal of like every organism out there?
100%.
I don't know. I think that probably ties back into that whole like spiritual or soul type, you know, like black box that don't really understand but think that there's something there, you know?
Yeah, something we don't understand, a higher power that may be influencing that.
I wouldn't even say a higher power, like just something. I don't think I like the idea of like a single thing, like a higher power, you know?
It could be some species
could be a law
that's
of
like
physics.
Multiple dimensions above us that just is looking down on us like as an experiment.
Sure.
I don't know.
It could be anything.
Could be anything.
Yeah. For me, the big thing for sure is like being born or like even before that, like just like when you become you, like that, what that moment is and what that actually is like a incomprehensible
that's a
thing to me. Like, it's just like, okay, so you weren't anything before, you were just like proteins or whatever. And now all of a sudden you start to have your own thoughts and be something individual from what you were before.
So you're saying the advent of consciousness.
Yeah,
like
conscious. Yeah, that's right. Like when,
if you were just proteins and molecules in like a certain arrangement, couldn't you like consciously have clones on the Earth?
Yeah, I would say the odds are just
like
low.
Not physically.
Aren't twins like a?
Oh, you're saying consciously, like your conscience from certain proteins and molecules.
Like if you could somehow analyze your mind and behaviors.
Yeah.
Like you're a twin.
But I think that's possible maybe at the advent of birth, but then over time it changes as your surroundings input different information.
Yeah, your brain develops.
Even if you could clone yourself now, you would diverge.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
unless you did the exact... But like, I guess the question is if you did the exact same thing. Like you were literally exposed to a copy of the stimuli that you were exposed to. Do you end up being the exact same person?
I think so.
You think there's no difference?
I don't think you could.
Really?
I think it's...
But you have to be. There's no other variables.
Is there any randomness?
No, it's just math.
Okay, no, I'm thinking more literally, like you and your twin couldn't occupy the exact same spot.
Oh yeah.
So when you're like observing something, you'd be
Yeah.
No, but I mean like like if you could do a simulation, if there's an alternative universe and there's a you up until this point, like would you do the exact same thing, or are there like chance things that happen where it's like, oh, Thomas could have done this tonight, but he decided to do that, and it was like a 50-50 split, and if he did that, it would have been something else, and like, you know.
But that's all based on previous data.
I think it would be exactly the same.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you think there's...
As long as you like react, like you could observe the same things and everything was exactly the same.
So by that logic, then it's like literally you could melt everything down to some... Like if you had all the basic rules in the world, you could replicate this. You could predict what's going to happen in 100 years.
You could model it. Yeah.
Yes.
You could model everything.
Yes, and that's exactly what I was listening to a podcast with Faraz Sahabi, George St. Pierre's trainer.
Yeah.
But he has a degree in philosophy, and him and another gentleman named Sam Harris, they have the same idea. There's no free will.
Yeah. So it's just. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
Everything you
Fate
do
is real.
Everything you do is just a product of what's already happened.
Yeah.
So if you could go back in time with the perfect calculator, you could slam all these molecules down and calculate exactly what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because everything you do is not actually what you want it to do. It's what like your brain is telling you to do based on previous things.
Yep. Yep.
So in that case, you could copy yourself in a parallel universe and it would do the same thing, right?
Yep.
So we are a computer program.
If you believe that, yeah.
Like, I don't really get what's so special about our brains that wouldn't be true.
Yeah. I think, I agree completely.
Like, we expect our jobs, like, as an electrical engineer, I expect electricity to act the same way, and it always reacts exactly the same way.
Yeah.
There's no, like, free choice with electrons.
Yeah.
So in my brain, it's just chemical reactions.
Yeah.
What the hell is the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think if you look at it,
they're always going
to
to react the same way.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
With the right stimuli, like you'll get the same reaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels random because it's complex enough.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you break down the complexity, it would be the same.
So you guys don't think that there's no chance to decisions that you make?
Not from a outside point of view, no.
Okay.
Because you're already been given the variables to deal with. There's nothing else.
If you look at me, there's a chance because we don't know what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once like I receive the input,
the
output has been decided.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. Like we think we have free will.
Yes.
Because we're only in our own consciousness.
Yep.
But from an outsider point of view that like built this world, let's say, like going off the rails in that sense.
Yeah.
They can see everything we're going to do.
Yeah. Gotcha. It's just a big program.
It could be.
Could be. No, yeah, in theory. Yeah, the only way that's not true is if you believe in something bigger, right? Like in like that kind of whatever.
Yeah.
You know, spirit, soul,
But
religion,
even in that case,
whatever.
if you think of something bigger, they still set up the reality that we're in. So the program is still running.
Unless they made a perfect AI.
Well, you know,
what?
I don't think that's.
We are the AI.
We are.
Like that's like with their current understanding. Like we have a current understanding of how things work. Right?
100%, yeah.
And like we don't know how everything works.
100%, yeah. That's with our current understanding.
Yeah, with our current understanding of 1 + 1 is equal to 2.
Yeah.
Then yeah, like in theory, I think I probably agree with you guys.
Like once you hit the cue ball.
In theory.
In theory.
I'm not trying to like
in theory
convince anyone.
Yeah, no, I understand.
No,
it's a thought experiment. I get it.
Yeah, it's a total thought experiment.
Yeah, absolutely.
The more I think about stuff, the more I realize I have no idea what's going on.
It's funny though,
but it's just fun to think about.
Oh, absolutely. But it's funny how unsettled a thought like that
can
make
isn't
you.
it?
Because I can honestly say, it's when you're having that conversation, and I don't think I've actually thought of that before. Like, basically what we're talking about is fate. Basically,
yeah.
Like less,
the less romantic version.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's
yes.
right. But it's funny when you're talking about it. You're just like, man, that would remove a lot of meaning.
Yeah,
that's the problem, and I think that's what human beings, why they resist those ideas, because they want there to be meaning. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to think about that there could be no meaning.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah,
because that takes away from sort of some sense of purpose, I guess.
For sure.
Because I've even thought had these thoughts before, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to be a rebel. I'm going to go against my own programming. I'm going to go do something silly. But I'm like, wait, because I thought about that, I'm doing this, and I'm like, I have no control.
Yeah, by that logic, there's nothing.
I can do
because all of it's a result, right?
Yeah,
including your outburst,
my rebellion.
Yeah, your rebellion. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the challenge, though. Is I don't think people want to embrace that idea because of the meaning. Yeah, and I think because you want to feel like you have purpose.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's up to each person, like really, because it's like I definitely don't think that there's a right way or there's like a right way to live your life. You know what I mean? Everyone's different,
for sure.
and everyone gets enjoyment from different stuff and value from different stuff. So
just let it be. And you can,
Yeah,
I guess
pretty
you can
much.
toss and turn all day and think about how this all came to be. But sometimes I just think to myself, we can't control it.
Yep.
So let's just live the day today.
Yeah, it's like, it's a fun question to ask and learn about, but like, I think if you take it too seriously and you start like questioning why do anything, like you said, like what's the point of anything, like it can be kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
But
Interesting,
yeah,
but dangerous.
I
Yeah.
think you can believe that stuff without like going insane, even if you believe it.
Yeah.
Like, even if you don't think you have free will, it doesn't matter. Just like ignore that fact.
yeah, but you have to ignore
that's
it.
true.
Like you that's the thing
Yeah.
though, you'd have to ignore it. Like I don't think you could like be like, I have no will, and like truly like you'll always appreciate it and feel okay.
Because
I don't think.
you can think that you have no free will from like a very third party point of view, but you can still live in your own brain and say, well, I'm going to still make the decisions I want.
Yeah, but
you can just live your own existence.
Yeah, but I think you have to have that part of it.
You have to.
Like I don't think you could accept that you have no free will and be okay. I don't know. I couldn't, at least.
No.
Me personally.
Yeah, I go through these circles in my head and then I eventually get back to the fact like, well, you know what? I'm going to have a beer because I want to.
Yeah.
Well, you'll either accept it or you won't, because you don't have the free will to choose.
Oh, man.
Yep. Yeah.
Man, what a journey from space all the way to here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe that's why SpaceX wants to explore what's out there, because they're looking for answers too. Who knows?
Maybe, yeah. Like,
Because I think if you're a really smart guy that's working for a cutting edge company, you must have thoughts like this every now and then. Maybe this is part of the motivation to explore what we don't know.
Could be.
Well, Mark, it's been good, man.
Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks. I'm always ending with a compliment of my guest, and
He always does.
this is the best part. Thomas always.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So cringy.
Especially when I pre-announce it.
Yeah.
Like usually it's off the cuff, but this time didn't.
It's really lost its meaning now.
That's fair enough. If it's scripted, that's all right.
Oh shoot! Yeah, maybe I shouldn't
I
say it
can't think of
anymore. I
anything.
should just do it. But I won't.
I always end with a compliment.
You're like, going to bust out a piece of paper.
Here it comes. Let me think of one here.
Because I have to do this.
Yeah.
I will do this. No, I appreciate you coming on, Mark.
Yeah, for sure.
You've always been one of my smartest friends.
Oh,
and,
wow. Thanks, I'm flattered.
Yeah, and you're very caring and always willing to listen to new ideas. And I'm just glad that we can have this chat. And if you ever want anything else you want to talk about,
Yeah.
just let me know. And
Yeah.
thanks for spending your time with me. I know you're a busy man, and you're a guy I look up to as one of the smarter and most logical guys I know. So
Thanks, Andrew. No, I appreciate that. No, you guys do a great job. It's a fun thing to do. And I think you're totally right. Like, we don't really get to have conversations like this too frequently unless it's deliberate in a way, right?
Yeah.
So, no, I had a lot of fun and good questions, good conversation. So thanks, guys. No, I really enjoyed it.
No worries, man. Until next time.
Yeah, for sure.
Dope.
Thanks.